Hello, my name is Rocio Flores. I am a self-development coach, and I have my own website at rocioflores.com with 2 I's. And hi. So I'm thinking that I want to call this podcast something around the lines of, can I just be? Something around the lines of that, because I feel like that's a sentiment that I feel often, where whether I'm talking about things about work or things about life, relationships in my personal life, my professional life, whatever it is, there's always this kind of feeling that I am either not doing something right, or I should be doing it the way other people want me to do it, or I try to do it the way other people do it and I don't like it and don't feel right to me. And along the lines, I'm always coming back to this concept of like, oh my God, can I just be what I want to be? Like, can people just stop? Can I just, you know what I mean? I know you've had this feeling. A lot of people do. And it's one of those things that I try to bring into my coaching, and I try to bring into my content, and I try to bring into my relationships, this concept of like allowing people to just be who they are. Because I think that if you're not okay with just being who you are, you're not going to change and be better. You're not going to accept the reality of your existence and actually try and engage with the world in a different way if you are doing things that maybe aren't good for you. And you need to feel validated in order for you to just exist in the world and feel like you have a right to be in the world. So, yeah, that's the kind of feeling I have all the freaking time. So, that's what I'm thinking that I can maybe make this podcast about. Kind of like talking about, because I feel like it would allow me for a lot of my rants, for me to just show me as me to the world, versus on for example, my YouTube or my blog, a lot of my content is very directly related to specific how-to information. So it's aimed at everyone else. Like, hey, what can you do? And how do you do these things? And I want a platform where I could just talk and just kind of air out all the ideas and thoughts and blah, 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 all of that. And then sort of from there, I guess I could use that information to then work out more structured content. So yeah, I really want a place where I could just be myself without having to edit myself so much. But then, at the same time, like, it's not just about being myself for no reason. I think that I go through a lot of processing. So I go from like one idea to another. There's a lot in between there, right? To go from like, oh, I just learned this new thing. Like, now how do I apply it to my life? Like, oh shit, life is not this easy. And then suddenly, like, I could spend like months on an idea before I ever think that it's something I want to accept or talk about with the world, or understanding myself, or even allow myself to associate myself with that idea. And I don't think people know how much thought I put into like anything, like any tiny little thing. I like the idea of being able to share that kind of how my brain really works and go from there. And then, yeah, from there I can actually then maybe actually give advice and, talk about more things that are for like specific people, etc. That's more on the content side, I guess. That's what a podcast should be, right? It's aimed more at people. I think I also just kind of like the idea of just having a place where I can just be myself and connect with people because they like me, and not because I'm doing anything for them, but just because I'm sharing myself and they like what I talk about. I know that should be like your friends and family, right? But like, that's kind of hard sometimes too. I get that. Yeah. Also, I say a lot. I say yeah a lot. I say so a lot. I think it's because I'm thinking, and then like I'm editing in my head. Don't say that. Like, I want to just say that, but then I'm like, oh no, that's probably not a good thing to share. I don't know. How do podcasts work? I guess I don't listen to enough. I listen to them on YouTube. Like, I'll watch, but more than anything, it's usually like I'm looking at some sort of like concept or idea, or I'm looking something up, and then I find like a million things on it. So then I may get some sort of, I guess I get to look into what certain podcasts sound like. But for the most part, I'm not a podcast listener. I'm not like sitting here looking for a podcast to listen to. I should. Usually I do enjoy them. They're fun. I really like just getting to know like a character, like a person, right? And then hearing everything they have to say, like every single thing they have to say. That's something I enjoy doing, and I know there's a lot of other people too. It's kind of like a fandom, but for like a real person. Um, I really enjoy doing that. But I guess overall, I don't like look for podcasts, and I'm not really experienced with how podcasts really work or the structure of a podcast. I know it sounds kind of like a radio, so where like you do like some talking on a specific topic or something, and then you like go to commercial, and then you come back. And then I know I've heard like the ones that sound like the NPR style, like they sound very, very, very structured, and they speak in a very very quiet tone, and it sounds very boring. But somehow, if you like it, you like it, and you're still in it. It's very calm. I don't know if I would actually be able to do that structured. I'm not when I talk and when I'm like just being myself, I don't have like a very, I guess, structured rhythm. Like I go from talking very monotone to go talking out of nowhere like gibberish. So I guess some of the topics that I think I would talk about on here would just be in general, the kind of conversations that I come across in both my line of work, my personal life, and online. I think that would be a good kind of starting point. Just be like, I read this today, and it made me think this, and this is what I'm thinking now, and maybe I should think about it this way, and then this is how I should move forward. And then I would like to go from there, because then maybe eventually I can have you, whoever you are listening, be the one sharing stuff with me to talk about, and I can kind of go from there. So it's not so much about me just sharing my opinion. So maybe it's just sharing the process of going from like this idea that I'm, encountering to the process of like coming to an actual opinion, or getting to a point of like, I don't want to have an opinion on this. And then being able to just be who I am. Well, I don't know. I feel like I don't want to put too much structure, because if I put a lot of structure there, I'm not going to want to do this. I'm thinking that if I do this, I want to do it just as an extra thing, not something that's incredibly constructed, because if I like schedule it and then it suddenly just becomes more work and I don't want to do it. So and then I'm like, I don't know what to talk about, and I have to make it about this, and I have to show this, and then I freak out. So no, don't want to do that. Let me just play around with this, and then if it becomes something, it becomes something. If it doesn't, then those just be 3 random like podcast episodes for me somewhere. Yeah. We'll see how this goes. I won't talk about it until it's a thing. More do, less talk, right? Alright, so if you have listened to this, it's a little rambly, I know. And maybe you will continue to listen to see if it ever gets anywhere. Alright, thank you so much, and you have a wonderful, awesome day. Bye.